What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 38, my Total Warhammer 3 Nkari / Seducers of Slaanesh campaign. Or is this 37? It doesn't matter. 30-something of whatever it is I said. Anyway, as we saw last time, we had a couple of new factions added to our vassal list, i.e. The Disciples of the Maw and the Oracles of Tzeentch. So now, I mean, we control a lot of the world via vassal. Just an incredible amount. Unfortunately, the Disciple or our Tzeentchian forces are in a pretty bad shape just by virtue of them being completely surrounded by this massive Cathayan empire. The dwarfs still guard the mountains and thus stand in our way from attacking the Cathayans, though the fact that Ignavia has arrived at Uzkalak might prompt the AI to now start sending forces this way towards Uzkalak, and that might be pretty worthwhile, i.e. if we can create a big bastion, essentially, our own, a Slaaneshi bastion here, to hold off the Cathayans, that would be really nice and would help out for the Oracles. However, that's all for the future, because in this episode we are dedicated to one thing and one thing only, and that is the assault on the mansion of Nurgle. I'm gonna quickly just level up you two, and then we go. You got 4 skills. Oh, let me guess. When you're gonna level, it'll automatically give you the secret chariot. I really don't like that, but oh well. Where are we gonna put those points? I rarely use the enfeebling foe, and I don't really intend on using the withering that much. Deadly blade. What do we have here? Missile resistance. Yeah, let's keep up the missile resistance. I mean, you're on a steed right now, are you not? I believe I put you on a steed so you stop dying. Let's give you the wound maker, although your attacks are honestly quite low and it's not all that great, but whatever. We'll have enough points to get all this stuff anyway, so it's not gonna change matters. Yeah, we'll have 7 points left, and then we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll have 1 point left over, but we don't really need another point in charge, because we got basically every other type of unit that can charge. So we do that, and then you're already something of a fighter, but you also pretty much have all of your things except for Devastating Charge and Indomitable, and there we go. Now we have everything but all the stuff that we don't need. Alrighty, well with that, I believe it's time to go. We should probably... Let's see, you have retro... wait. The Rock of Inevitability does what again? It's a Hex. We could give this to you. Minus 26 melee defense. Once again, I don't really think Nkari needs these items. More so for fun than anything else. I guess we could give this to you temporarily. Especially since you're not using anything. Yeah, let's take the Rock of Inevitability. I mean, it's a pretty decent debuff. And you have the Torment Blades to debuff an enemy. You have the Glittering Scales to debuff an enemy. Basically, you do a lot of debuffs. Yeah, alright, they can lose minus 24 melee attack, minus 26 melee defense, and, well, the Dawnstone doesn't give you any kind of debuffs, but I don't think there's any talisman that does. I wish we had another Helm of Discord, because I love those things, but, well. Oh, also, wait, you don't have any... Whoa. And any of these that we can give you that would be useful to you? No, it doesn't look like it. We kind of don't have enough of these anyway. Alright, well, let's head to it. Time to hit the mansion. Yo, sorry, Kugath, you were real close, buddy. Real close. Alrighty, the Gardener, the 4th soul.
The mansion of the Plague Lord, the crooked manor of Nurgle. None would survive crossing its threshold, but the Gardener will come as soon as we trespass upon its outer defenses. Capture the Canker Tree in the Garden of Blight. This will give you a foothold and grant us supplies to reinforce for the struggle ahead. There are 2 other trees you will need to claim, and so dominate the battle. Nurgle is amused you have made it this far. Slay his servants, and ensure he will not mock you again.
Your corpulence is your undoing. My sisters will see you damned.
Alrighty, here we go, the final soul that we are ready to take. Now, this is the fight against Nurgle. I love moving in with Nkari at the same time as bringing down a lash of Slaanesh to herald his arrival. Anyway, as I was saying, this battle against the Nurgle forces it's not really going to be any kind of concern. It is by far the easiest of the soul battles, especially for our quick-moving Slaaneshi and the good towers that we have available to us. Oh yeah, look at that. Those poor Nurglings crushed and ripped apart under the wheels of our health flares. And there we go. Looks like this first location will be ours very, very shortly. One of our soul grinders smacking around that beast of Nurgle as well, who will probably fall in the next couple of blows. Down he goes. Yeah, we have great advantages here. This is certainly not going to be like the battle for the Tzeentch soul, wherein we actually took damage due to all the crazy range nonsense. This is not a problem. Looks like one Plague Bearer unit remaining in the center here. On the bright side, this does mean that we don't have to separate our forces as much, which means we can watch the battles sort of just happen. Also, I forget, where does Nurgle appear in the sky? Oh, there he is. There he is. He's in the smoke. Hi, Nurgle. You okay there, buddy? Yeah. I thought he'd be bigger. Anyway, where? Oh my lord, I've lost the. Okay. Okay. Well, let's speed it up until we hit the first wave of tower defense, shall we? And here we are. First wave. We have immediately built up 1, 2, 3, I think 4 towers, and then we're gonna get the 5th one operational as fast as we possibly can. Well, actually, we have 3 up, and then the 4th one. And the 5th one will be up as fast as possible. But yeah, as I've said before, the Slaaneshi towers, the highest tier of Slaaneshi towers are probably the best ones. At least so far that I've played the game, they've definitely been the most effective of all of them. They're good at actually hitting enemies instead of missing every shot. And on top of that, they're capable of hitting fast enemies like Cav and Demon Nets and what have you, as we've encountered in previous battles. They were even quite effective against fighting other Slaaneshi forces. So very, very nice. They'll obviously rip apart or, damage a lot of the units as they come in, but otherwise we're not going to be too concerned because, well, we have a lot of strong units defending. We're also going to save up enough money to hopefully upgrade Nkari as much as possible, give him the bonus armor and all the bonus damage, because it's always nice to get him up above to between 2 and 3k damage per hit. Makes it feel more appropriate. Alrighty, looks like there will be some units that are finally going to make it to our battle lines, but Nkari, man, those eyes just keep rolling. Nkari should be able to take care of them quite quickly, especially with the help of the Heartseekers. We've had lots of battles where Heartseekers have charged into Fox Riders or into Plague Toads, and as we know, Heartseekers just rip those things apart. Though the Plague Drones and Rotflies are quite dangerous and can definitely do damage to our Heartseekers, so we gotta be careful there. If Nkari wasn't leading them, I'd be a lot more concerned. We can always cycle charge them, like we're doing back through the battle lines, and then bring them back. Alright, Nkari, you should be taking care of at least 1 Rotfly per attack, buddy. Come on. Alrighty, down goes that one, and let's check back on what we're going to be doing. We've dropped by about 25% in terms of the wave, and it looks like some enemies are arriving over here as well, but we are blobbed up and they're having a tough time dealing with us. As we can see on our HP, we've basically taken no damage. One of our fiends appears to, actually, no fiends have died, it's just that they've taken like 10% damage. All good. I suppose, interestingly enough, the forces of Slaanesh aren't very good in theory when defending like this. This isn't what they're made for. They're made to attack and use their speed, their mobility to flank enemies and do all that sort of thing. So just sitting in the center and defending, not really what they're made for, but considering that, once again, we're against Nurgle, it's not really too much of a problem. We're also doing as much counter-charging as possible. Ooh, some units go down, but the Heartseekers go ahead. That was a pretty nice charge, I gotta say. Ooh, and the Fiend moves in at the same time. Screen even lagging due to all the effects from the towers and stuff, and the Soul Grinder following along. Alright, some lovely cinematic shots this time around, too. It's nice when we blob up like this, at least in part because all of the units working together looks real good. And under the support from the towers as well. Isn't it a lovely sight? Alrighty, yeah, these plague bearers rather have not much of a chance, especially when they get screamed at. There you go, well done, Soul Grinder. Alrighty, let's see what we're up to. About 32%, oh damn, that was real quick. Watch that for about a minute or so, and then bam, the wave is almost gone. Nkari's still holding the ground, acting as the anchor over here, while we have another anchor in the Soul Grinder that was guarding this location, and then we have these guys by themselves essentially attacking the Pox Riders, though the Hellflayers are probably not in the best position currently. As soon as Nkari's down over here, he can obviously switch directions. Anyway, let's watch him kill a few more of these Plague Bearers, since the other side of the map is definitely going in our favor. Hi, Nkari. Alrighty, looks like these Plague Bearers are getting banished and melting back into the ooze from whence they came. And thus Nkari is going to be able to proceed over here, though the rest of our army has approached as well, and now we have the Fiends of Slaanesh and the Heartseekers who are going to be able to help out with those damn Pox Riders. Not that they're causing too much of a problem here. Once again, our HP is looking pretty good. One of our Fiends got about 10% off their HP, but they haven't lost a single model, which means if we activate our healing, they're going to be just fine. Wave is now down to 6%. There's pretty much nothing left, just a couple units that we need to melt, kill, and then we'll be good and ready to go to the next one. Alrighty, oh, I should have countercharged these guys, my bad. I was probably controlling Nkari and the other units. Okay, there we go, there we go. Now we moving. Even with us being the ones charged, I really wouldn't count on the Pox Riders winning against the Heartseekers. Nothing close to it. I really wish there was a way to make the cursor disappear other than with the middle mouse button, as in just like press a button and it disappears. I don't like how it stays on the screen. There you go. I mean, you can hide it at the edge of the screen, but then you have to depress the arrow keys so that you don't move the screen by itself. Alrighty, well, regardless, there we go. The Wall of Twisted Flesh, or the Wall of Putrid Disgusting. I don't know what the version is called in the Nurgle realm, but it's gone down. And now we're going to move on to the next location, the Sapping Tree, as opposed to, I believe this was the Canker Tree. No, Seeping Tree. Wait, the Seeping Tree, the Sapping Tree, and the Stinging Tree. Meh. Seeping and Sapping are a lot closer than Sting, but still. All the S's also make me think of Slaanesh. Alrighty, and Nkari. He just ran forward ahead of everybody, but we should be used to it by now since he's been doing it all campaign. There we go, the rest of the forces can catch up to him insofar as anyone can catch up to Nkari. You gotta love the fact that he's basically immortal as long as he's fighting Chaff, because as he kills him, he just regains all his HP back. Although, to be fair, the same thing goes for, like, Scarbrand and several other units. And good luck doing anything to Kugat because of his HP and his regeneration as well. I mean, I guess all the Exalted Greater Demons, although... to what degree would Kairos survive this? I don't know. I don't know. The thing I'm getting at, I suppose, is that Nkari is less fragile than I suppose I might have expected him to be. Once again, as long as he's fighting Chaff. Although he's pretty damn decent at destroying enemy lords as well. Alrighty, looks like we're going to capture the second tower defense point quite quickly. I'm just trying to follow Nkari around with the camera. I wish there was a lock camera mode as well, although, I mean, I guess we don't necessarily just want to watch Nkari. Ooh, nice barreling forward there. Soul Grinders. The Slaaneshi Soul Grinders are always just such a pleasure to watch. They've got probably the coolest melee animation for them, wouldn't you say? I love all the screaming and the sonic attacks, and yeah, very nice. Good sound design, too. Alrighty, well, let's see what we're looking at here. The Exalted Plague Bearers are just about dead, and that's the last force remaining. There was another force over here, as we can see by the Plague Bearer corpses slowly melting back into the flesh of the realm there. That is the ground, but otherwise this battle, or this portion of this battle is over, and we can speed up once more. Ooh, I like these little edge... Oh, this little fountain is in like a mini-maw, isn't it? It's a fountain in a mini-maw. I really like that. That's a nice piece of decor. Well done, Nurgle. Praise Nurgle decor. And Tzeentch is still superior, but still. Alrighty, well, let's speed it up until the next wave starts. Once again, we're going to build up all the towers that we can, because they're quite effective. I've also deleted the towers in the first location to get the supply points back. Not summoning any units, but we did waste our money, or use our money, not waste, to give Nkari plus 30 armor, plus 10% damage resistance, and a ton of damage upgrades. He's at nearly 1,000 weapon strength base, as in without all the crazy buffs that he can get via his own... via his own Hysterical Frenzy, via his own items and abilities, and via the Occam's Mind Razor that we can put on him as well. So he can go really, really buffed up once we get all those on him. Not that they're really needed for these basic attacks. Alrighty, here comes a force of Nurgle under the bombardment. It is annoying just how many flying units are available to the enemy, though. But I guess, you know, you gotta give Nurgle something. Otherwise, this would be way too easy. The flying units are really the only thing that make this somewhat challenging. I knew to move the camera back that time. Nkari always rushes forward. There we go. Take out a few toads. they're just deciding. Nope. Never mind. Screw defending the realm of Nurgle. We're out. Alrighty, well, you have fun, Nkari, as you like to do. Let's see, there's another set of Pox Riders here. Fighting the Fiends of Slaanesh, as well as the Demon Net support. More aerial units coming down as well. Yeah, since this particular battle isn't complicated, it's just really fun to watch. Although, to be fair, it also means that there's not a lot for me to say, and I'm just trying to prevent it from being silent the entire time, I guess. Certainly does leave room for digression, though, and I do like that sort of thing, as you guys may well know. Alrighty, so what do we got here? Wow, we're already at 66% on this wave. There's no real need to slow it down, either, because, I mean, basically we're just fighting in two locations, and they're kind of samey. The only thing is, one has Nkari and the other one has our two heroes, although the two heroes are kind of hard to spot in the press because they're relatively small. Oh, look at that charge of Heartseekers. Might have been a little bit overboard. Probably could have just done this, gone around, hit them in the back, but honestly, considering how few units remain here, it's not a huge deal. Plus, if we blob up, it also forces the enemy to continue blobbing up, which means our splash-damaging towers will continue ripping them apart in bigger blobs. Nkari is also by himself, or at least he was... Okay, there he is. I thought he ran up a little bit more ahead, but it was just him jumping around at the enemy. Yeah, Nkari doesn't care. Ooh, and now the Soul Grinder's pushing forward as well. Looks like we're down to 33% HP remaining now, or wave percentage remaining now. Let's check back over on this side as well. Ooh, they've got a Great Unclean One who has appeared, but is completely surrounded. We've summoned a Keeper of Secrets to fight him one-on-one via our Cultist, and to distract him so that he doesn't kill too much, although it looks like he doesn't want to fight the Keeper of Secrets, and the Keeper of Secrets... Oh, no, there we go, he took a swing. There we go. Yeah, you attack the Keeper of Secrets. Nice little duel. Although you will disappear soon because your lightning just turned to orangey yellow. Hey, where are you going? Soul Grinder's here to help out, though. And I think all of our units are just moving past the Great Unclean One, so if they could destroy any enemies that remain here, while our Soul Grinder and our heroes take care of the Great Unclean One. Me frantically taking screenshots here. A very nice looking battle, I gotta say. Alrighty, damn, that Great Unclean One is just surviving so many attacks. I've also debuffed him several times with our various magics because our Cultist and our Allurus are both here. But anyway, down he goes, and we're down to 0% on the wave, so the rest of these units should dissipate. And there we go, they all melt. All of the Furies fall down at the same time. I always find it a little bit weird. Oh, there we go. Well, I guess they disappear, their corpses disappear, but I feel like they would probably explode if they just, like, fell from that. Well, maybe not explode, but at least be bloody. Oh, wow, there's a huge tentacle over there. Nice, I didn't notice that. And there's some little ones over there. And this one just looks like a screaming meth. I mean, while we're moving up to the third and final of the tower defenses, might as well take a look at the realm a little bit. There's always new stuff to find out here, after all. It's such a lovely garden. Nurgle worked hard on it. We should appreciate it. And since Nurgle's like, I don't know, like the most benevolent of the Chaos Gods in his way, I feel like he'd appreciate that as well. And there we go. Yeah, Slaanesh may be most jealous, but that doesn't make Slaanesh benevolent in the way that Nurgle is at all. Alrighty, and another lash of Slaanesh coming in just as Nkari moves in to attack some Forsaken. Good luck dealing with him, Forsaken. And let's see, Nkari, he's still basically at full HP. I just want to point that out as well. Gotta recall that when we were fighting in the Tzeentch battle, he took a number of volleys from enemy range and reduced his max HP down to about 0.5%, i.e. 50% of what was available to heal up via regeneration. That hasn't happened here at all, even though Nkari's been fighting by himself the entire time. But just goes to show how effective he is against the forces of Nurgle here. I love watching the Fiends of Slaanesh move in with all of their tails, eh? Like as you move in. Very different. And also we've summoned 3 new sets of Fiends of Slaanesh. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I think are on the field. We had 2 that we started with. We summoned 3 more from here, so we just charged them in as a little bit of a preview of our new army that we just built with the Fiend of Slaanesh main line. But yeah, the like sinuous tails that they have, I feel like really add to the feel of a Slaaneshi army. It feels appropriate. Alright, Nkari bringing down that Great Unclean, or at least knocking him down. See how much HP you have left, about 25, maybe a little bit less percent. Nkari's at 1.2k on his damage. I think he had more buffs earlier, but they might have dissipated after a little bit of a while. Nice strike, but that didn't even kill a single unit of Heartseekers. Ouch. Well, a nice try there, Great Unclean One, and another one bites the dust. It looks like a few more units remaining, but it won't be long until we get to the main battle, i.e. against the Gardener. Oh, damn you, camera. Shouldn't have gone up like that. I was enjoying that little flyby we were doing. And there we go. Now Nkari's joined the fray. It's a little like brick and mortar, little like ruin. Feels too normal, you know what I mean? It's just like a regular little human structure. And with a small door. Nkari wouldn't be able to fit through that door. Great Unclean One certainly wouldn't be able to fit through that door. Who was this for? Maybe it was just like a human fortress transported into the realm of Nurgle. Alrighty, look at our huge Slaaneshi army. Oh man, imagine like a, I don't know which ability. Oh well, what's the Nurgle? The huge explosion ability that they have, or maybe like an ogre maw explosion. Either way, one of the bigger AoE attacks right there, or Wind of Death right there. Maybe even bouncing off this to hit this twice, just decimate the army. Unfortunately for the enemy, they do not have casters, so we don't really have to worry. Can the Demon Princes even cast? I don't even remember. Which is a little bit weird considering I've done this like a dozen times, but I can't remember whether they cast anything. I feel like the Tzeentch one has to have abilities that cast, but I'm kind of blanking on whether they do. Anyway, let's speed it up one more time until we get to the Gardener there. We're also going to summon 3 more Soul Grinders and 3 more Keepers of Secrets. So now we have 5 Soul Grinders on the field, 3 Keepers of Secrets, plus Nkari, plus another Keeper of Secrets that we can summon if we want, plus the addition of all the Fiends. Ah, that looks like it's answered my question. The enemy is indeed casting something, and the Gardener is on the field, and he is surrounded by a lot of exalted plague bearers, but the fact is, we moved a lot of our Keepers of Secrets in, and they're going to be blocked by them, which is pretty great for us. Otherwise, our defense is pretty darn effective here in the sense that we've got a lot of extra units now, and a lot of anchors for our battle lines. There's a Soul Grinder essentially anchoring every single point where the enemy could attack. See, Soul Grinder here, Soul Grinder here, Soul Grinder here, Soul Grinder here, and so even if there are units that spawn here and attack, they will not be able to break through, and thus we don't have to worry about those locations. It's just a simple matter of killing the Gardener himself, and we are well on the way to doing that. Flash of Slaanesh going down, Nkari joining the other Keepers of Secrets and going after the Gardener. Gardener's pretty huge, too. I bet Nkari enjoys that. Alrighty. I love that animation where they leap into the sky and then bring down their weapons. Very nice. Alrighty, well, the Gardener is in a pretty precarious position, completely surrounded by fiends, 2 Keepers of Secrets, and Nkari, and a Soul Grinder. We don't even really need any other units. I'm actually going to move a few away because they're not really necessary, and at that point, they're just blocking each other. Honestly, I do wish that you could, like, force a duel with the enemy lord. Like, I would love to see just Nkari versus Nkari versus the Demon Prince, but unfortunately they kind of spawn all their units here, and it looks like the Demon Prince wants to stay near those Plague Bearers, but oh well. It's all good. That's the animation I want to see. There you go. That's one of the animations I want to see. Alright, Nkari, looks like you've managed to get something of a duel going with him, and how's he doing? He's down to about 12,000 HP, down from his 25-ish K that he starts with. I actually wonder, do the 4 Demon Princes that you're soul harvesting, do they have different stats and HP and stuff like that? I mean, they have different spells, clearly, but do they indeed have different, like, armor values? Well, I would imagine that the other one would have less armor, like the Zinchen one, because it would probably have a barrier as well. I'm just wondering whether the Nurgle one has a lot more HP than one of the other ones would, for example, or... I feel like they all have about 20 to 25k, although I could be wrong. I mean, if they had less, the thing is, it would probably be too easy. Alrighty, ooh. That was a nice little leap up, and he's melting, unfortunately. Nkari backs off a little bit to get one final charge in there, and one strike, and down he goes. There we go. Nkari looks like he got the final hit there with a completely necessary cycle charge. Alrighty, well, we're still at 55% remaining in the waves that are here, and a lot more enemy units to kill, so let's get to work on that. We've actually been sort of ignoring this portion because I moved all of our units back here, and the thing I decided to do was to try to preserve our main army units, i.e. unsummoned units, non-summoned units, like our Demonettes and all of our stuff. So we're going to move our regular Soul Grinders away, but send in the Keepers of Secrets and the Soul Grinders that we summoned over here to hold the line and take the damage for us, so that when we get back to the material world, we have an army that's more or less ready to go. Because after all, after this entire battle, we haven't really taken all that much damage. We're good, as long as we don't screw it up here. And this will be a stupid time to screw it up after all. Alrighty, remnants of the enemies here. We're down to 46% now, dropped another 10%. We've also have our heroes fighting here. We just barely spot the Allurus, who is right here, with her fish mohawk, or lizard mohawk, perhaps. Alrighty, and it looks like this portion of the battlefield is ours. We're moving on to the next one, where, as I said, we sent in our summoned units. But it's nice to see all these Soul Grinders and Keepers of Secrets and Fiends fighting together. This is kind of the opposite of what you would expect, you know what I mean? Like, I would expect it to be Nurgle units, like a few great unclean ones towering over and fighting like rocks amidst the waves of a giant pile of other demonic forces. But in this case, well, we can do it too, clearly. Man, we are spinning to win all day today. Alright, I'm willing to bet down to about 20%-ish. Yeah, 26%. Almost there, and the battle's just about over. Interestingly enough, I think like this portion of the battle actually took longer than it took to take out the gardener there. Though to be fair, with all of our elites focusing down one unit, or maybe not all of them, but a lot of elites focusing down one unit, it's not all that surprising. And there we go. Looks like our summon units have just about finished them off with a little bit of help from Nkari and our. I think that was it was just Nkari. I didn't even send anybody else in. All summoned units. And Nkari, as usual, doesn't care because he's still at basically full HP and still recovered to full. And there we go, 7%, and the battle is over. In fact, I'm going to speed it up now because the rest is kind of boring. And let's head to that cutscene, shall we? Alrighty, well, I think that went really, really well. We barely suffered any casualties or took any damage in our main army, which, considering the gauntlet you have to run, is pretty damn decent, especially compared to some of the other factions when they went through, or in some of my other campaigns, when we went through the various soul fights. Though, I suppose, once again, the Nurgle fight is the easiest one by virtue of the slowness of those units, and we saw our speed and the ability to engage with the enemy quickly, just how valuable it is, though it was also easier to pay attention this time because we stayed relatively blobbed up. Not having to worry about casters is certainly makes things a lot easier. Also, Nkari, 88k, almost 89k with his damage. Very, very nice. Doubling, I think, the closest damage and tripling or quadrupling pretty much anything else. Our heroes didn't do too much, but to be fair, they didn't really cast anything, and they were mostly just running around supporting Nkari and debuffing enemies. Nkari did the most work, as it should be. He also went way above 2k in terms of damage with the buffs that he got in that battle, so that was also very nice. Anyway, oh wow, we get 400 devotees or 4,000 money. I mean, honestly, hard to say which is more worth it at this point. 400 devotees is quite a bit, but we gain like 300 per turn right now, don't we? And then 4k, we also gain like 11,000, even though we just did use a lot of our money. Honestly, 4k is not that much. Let's take the devotees. We were going to save up a bunch anyway later on.
How does it feel to face death like a mortal? Come closer, and I will show you. Know this as you fade. All of your struggles, sacrifices, your victories and labors were for nothing. I will not be so careless with your power. Spare them. I am going to destroy them. They will waste their last breath cursing your name. Finally. Gods of Chaos! The God Bear is dead! Gather Ursum's power. Bind it to me. My godhood will be forged here on this throne. One by one, I will kill the gods and harvest their strength. All will be mine! All will be mine.
A new deity will soon ascend. Be'lakor, the Chaos God of Shadows. But his transformation will take time. He can still be stopped. He must be stopped. Then, Ursun's power is yours.
Alrighty. Also, doesn't the fact that he doesn't immediately get his power back mean that that he doesn't ascend immediately, that it takes time, quote unquote, doesn't that automatically mean he failed? Time has no meaning in the warp, therefore, once a god, always a god, and the gods that were in the future always existed in the past, as in Slaanesh existed before Slaanesh existed. That's the whole thing. And I don't think Be'lakor is one of those, at least judging by what we've got here, unless it somehow changes. But anyway, I digress. We got, as I said, we got that stupid secret chariot on Scipio, which we'll have to remember to switch out at some point. I really don't like the auto mount switch that happens, not by level, but just going back. It's really weird. But anyway. Trait removed, Taint of Nurgle. Oh, we get Taint of Nurgle. What do we still have? We have the Taint of Zenshot. Oh, damn, we haven't removed the Taint of Zenshot. Okay, we really need to get rid of that one. Mansion of the Plague Lord complete. And Bookman, you should say things.
We have the final soul required to illuminate the path of the Forge. Yet events overtake us, Great One. The God Bear is dead. He will roar no more, and reality itself can no longer be contained. Rifts tear through the veil, and demons flood the mortal world. This was always part of Be'lakor's plan. He ascends to godhood. There is no place for us in his grand vision. He must be stopped.
Also, when we had that cutscene and Be'lakor was like, gather Ursun's power, I was like, who are you talking to? There's nobody there but you. Also, all the like gears turning and all those like lanterns and stuff, but he's not the god of shadows, he's the god of steampunk. Demon punk, he's the god of demon punk. Anyway, continue. Alright, quest issued. Travel towards the Forge of Souls. Use a rift to traverse towards the Forge of Souls, then win the following battle. Turns complete 40. Rifts are open permanent tears in the mortal world plane. Use them once more to traverse towards the Forge of Souls, for Be'lakor seeks nothing less than godhood. He will feast on what remains of Ursun, consume the bear's power, and ascend to challenge the ruinous powers. Now, hey, those are my favorite kind of powers. Right, now you have collected the 4 twisted souls, unleash them within the realm of chaos to light the hidden path, a bridge of shadows to reach the Forge of Souls. Confront and defeat Be'lakor before he becomes a god. Victory, or reward, campaign, victory. Enemy forces. Really? Why would you have a few random units instead of all soul grind? If you were gonna go 75% soul grinders for the last battle, you might as well go 100% soul grinders, right? Alrighty. So that's pretty nice. And I guess, I guess since this is gonna have to be a self-contained episode, as I like to do with these battles for those souls, I guess I am going to call it here. We still have a lot of stuff to do, potentially. I'm not entirely sure how long we will proceed with this campaign past the campaign victory after the Forge of Souls battle. I'll have to think on that. Really depends on the interest and the engagement and all that, as opposed to other campaigns, and the interest in starting new ones. I have been meaning to start some SFO campaigns, including Cathay and stuff. At least one Cathay campaign with the current form of SFO, I think. Although I haven't looked into exactly how far we've progressed yet. I think just the units being advanced is good in and of itself. But anyway, once again, I digress. I tend to do that, and this episode is no different. Calling it here. Next time, probably gonna at least get some fights going. Not just going to proceed to the Forge of Souls immediately, though we could, I think, in one turn if we wanted to do so. Nkari can't move fully, but well, maybe 2 turns to get there. So I'll think about that. Stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.